And we are live. Welcome to the Team Brad Stinson podcast. As always, this podcast is intended to bring attention and awareness to all things veteran, a place where veterans can come and identify their resources, benefits, crucial updates, and other miscellaneous things such as transition stories and how veterans have gotten over it. So this podcast is with Air Force veteran Ben Williams. How you doing, brother?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Not too bad, not too bad. This podcast, we're going to be going over the Northern Michigan housing market update. One of the huge benefits that us veterans have is the VA home loan benefit, which is the hands down the best financing tool on the planet when it's done correctly and by the right individual. So me personally, I specialize in VA home loans, and Ben is a military relocation professional realtor. And he's also a veteran. So what better team than two veterans together? So without further ado, Flyboy, what up?
Well, Brad, it's been quite a productive month this past month. You know, a lot of people think that, buyers are going to hibernation because of the holidays, but as last month indicates, that was not the case. So for our area, we had over 219 single-family homes that sold last month.
219, and that's for all financing, cash, conventional, FHA, RD, VA.
That's correct. Yeah, the single family homes stayed on the market for approximately 139 days altogether. So that's meaning once we put the house under contract to when we grab the keys at closing. So, or in the listing side of things, once they put the house on the market, then whoever gives them the cash and closes, then that's how long the days on market is. So I spoke out of turn earlier. It's actually when the house goes listed to when they exchange keys at the closing table. So
gotcha. So from the time that it goes live,
correct,
to the time that the keys are given over to the new owners, 113 days.
Yep. So that's it's actually not too bad. That's a pretty decent absorption rate, as they call it, meaning that the homes are definitely moving. They're not sitting on the shelf too terribly long, and but I think we're starting to see a little bit of a slowdown as far as how fast homes are moving off the shelf, especially in the affordable housing bracket.
Yeah, I've noticed that too down here. So Ben is up north in Traverse City, and I am in Grand Rapids. So it's about 200 miles difference ish.
Yeah.
Here in Michigan, we don't really go by miles; we go by hours. For minutes, however long. I don't know why. Have you noticed that, man? Like,
yeah, I know. I'm the same way. So.
It's so weird. Like, it takes about 2.5 hours to get up to bed. Not how many miles it takes.
I don't know. It just takes about that much. When we go down to Detroit, we measure in hours, not miles.
Yeah, and when you go on vacation, you go up north.
Yeah, exactly.
Up north seems to non-Michiganders is like a direction.
Yeah.
It's not a vacation destination. Up north is a vacation destination. Anyways, so 219. How many of those were VA?
Only 3, believe it or not. Only 3 transactions that occurred last month that veterans used their VA home loans. So, and the average, and it's really funny. Out of the 4 possible financing, or not possible, but conventional FHA, VA, and RD rural development, actually VA had the highest average price per sale at 261 up here, whereas conventional had 324. The other 2, FHA and rural development, were under 200,000.
Nice.
So it tells you the buying power of the veteran that are using the VA loans.
Absolutely. I mean, the buying power for a veteran nationally is 259,000.
Yeah.
That's the average sale price of a VA home loan. from
Yeah.
2017. So every year, home values keep increasing. So therefore, the loan amount is probably going to increase as well. I say probably because I don't have the stats yet, but
Right.
the chances are that the loan amount is higher than last year. So it's going to be higher than 259. So, I mean, that's great to see and great to hear. But we were talking before this podcast about, we think so here in West Michigan or Kent County area where I'm at, the VA home loan stats, or the home stats from November, the same month, total sales, total transactions, 2,524.
Wow.
Total transactions. VA, 113. So that equivalates out to be a 4.4% market share, whereas up north, you're at a 1.3% market share.
Right.
What you and I believe is the miseducation or lack of understanding of the VA home loan, because rule number one when dealing with veterans is never, ever assume that we know our benefits. A lot of veterans do not understand that it does not expire, or if you've used it one time, you can use it again. Or if you have an active VA home loan, you can still purchase another home using your VA home loan. So what Ben and I have decided to do is team up and educate and advocate, right?
Absolutely. I mean, and that's been I would say over the last couple of years has been the biggest obstacle, so to speak, of bringing awareness up here is, it's a lot of misinformation, either from the public, from realtors, from other lenders, or just from other veterans that either have had a bad issue with the veteran or VA in the past, or they just overheard it through the grapevine and preaching it as gospel. But at the end of the day, there's been a lot of changes for the better for veterans in VA home loans, and I think a lot, especially up here, I'm finding there's a lot of yesteryear type of mentality.
Oh yeah, I mean it's abundant throughout the whole entire mortgage world, right?
Yeah.
But like I always hear, well, the VA home loan takes so long to close.
Mm-hmm.
Riddle me this, Batman. How in the hell was I able to close a VA home loan in 7 calendar days?
Yeah.
7.
It really, I challenge conventional thinking quite a bit up here as well. What I mean by conventional thinking, traditional thinking, I should say, is that there's always that huge misconception that that the VA appraisal is going to, either they're going to get hammered during the VA appraisal process, or two, the underwriter is just going to, it's got to go through the VA to get it approved. And it's not really the case anymore that you were seeing now. And especially with the VA appraisal, I mean, it's not as daunting as as a lot of veterans, unfortunately, and some realtors out there that seem to think that, oh my God, is it going to pass a VA appraisal?
Yeah, I hear it all the time too. There's no difference between a VA appraisal and an FHA appraisal.
Right.
It's just mind blowing. So we can sit here and bitch about it all we want. But
True.
Bitching about it doesn't correct the action.
No, it just perpetuates it. So,
so instead of bitching about it, Ben and I are actually going to do something about it, right?
Yeah,
so, January 18th, we are hosting a VA home buying seminar at the VFW. I don't know the exact address.
That is
3400 Veterans Way.
Veterans Drive.
Veterans
Traverse
Drive.
City, yeah.
In Traverse City. So I'll post the link to the event in the podcast. During this seminar, we're going to have a team of real estate professionals, myself, VA home loan specialist, Ben, MRP realtor, veteran friendly, veteran educated, VA educated realtor, an appraiser, a VA approved appraiser, a home inspector, title, and somebody else. Or is that it?
That's it. That's it. Yeah.
So we'll have a panel of people there for you guys to ask your questions. Each one of us will speak in regards to what it is exactly we do and what to expect throughout this process. Myself, I'll discuss eligibility, the uses of the VA home loan, the purpose of a VA home loan, and 10 of the highest benefits of the VA home loan as well. So we'll be on hand. I think we have it scheduled for an hour, but I plan on being there all day because I have to drive up. So come on out with your questions, man. I mean, what's the worst thing that's going to happen to you? You're going to find out the truth about the VA home loan. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, and we plan on feeding water and all everybody that shows up. So
yeah, we plan on giving you bread and water.
Yeah, exactly. Not MREs.
No, we'll have actual food, real food, and drinks.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's a really, really good program, a seminar, and it touched base on a lot of things, and it really opens up a buyer's eyes as far as, kind of getting a peek behind the curtain of what to expect once they put a house under contract, or what they should do prior to getting out there and looking for a home. The first step is always get the pre-approval letter regardless. So, but you'll hear from some really good people, not only myself and Brad, who is a Marine, but we got a home inspector also who's also Air Force. So there's a lot of veteran influence, a lot of veteran friendly atmosphere with this team. They're very, very sensitive and very, very attentive to a veteran's desires to get their home. So it's a really good opportunity to also speak to Brad, myself, or either an appraiser afterwards too, like Brad was indicating, to dig a little bit deeper and ask some more questions. But there will be a time for Q&A towards the end of the hour, but I'm sure most of the panel wouldn't mind staying afterwards and answering questions as well. So
absolutely. So January 18th, post the event in the podcast description. And then we're also working on some Realtor events in which I provide 3 hours of Con Ed training on the VA home loan. And the surprise is we have my boss, Andrew Paul, who is a Navy SEAL. He served with SEAL Team 3 Task Unit Bruiser under Jocko Willink in Ramadi, Iraq in 2006. He also served with Chris Kyle, Michael Mansour, and many, many more heroes. But SEAL Team 3 Task Unit Bruiser was responsible for the Anbar Awakening. And him and I are coming up to Traverse City to host a few events. We need to nail down the actual dates of that, but it will be in February. So we'll have probably a veteran event. We got to find something cool to do, and then an educational event with realtors. So him and I will provide some VA home loan knowledge, and you get to hear it straight from my mentor, my boss, the guy I highly respect, AP.
I tell you what, and I'm super stoked that AP's coming up here and sharing his wealth of knowledge and experience too, and really kind of connecting with the guys up here. And that's one of the things that I find most appreciating, and other veterans find most appreciating, when they're working with veterans who are professionals in the industry. There's a certain level of comfort they get, knowing that, one, we speak their language, and two, they know that we got their six. So it's it's always nice to when we can bring a individual like AP up here and yourself to kind of help spread the word and give veterans the confidence that the information that is swirling out there is somewhat clouded with incorrect information. So
it's false.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, brother. Well, let's start wrapping this up. I thank you for your time.
Likewise.
I thank you for doing what you're doing. And I look forward to crushing 2019 with you, my friend.
Yeah,
and
I'm super excited.
Have you by chance downloaded or bought the David Goggins book yet?
No, but that is definitely a must get from what I understand.
So yes, it is a must get. Whoever is listening to this that has not heard of David Goggins, he's considered to be the toughest man alive, just because he has conditioned his brain to really power through pain. And I'm not talking like I'm talking pain such as when you are running a long distance and you hit that wall, and he's conditioned his brain to just not even pay attention to it, just power right through. But one chapter in that book is called Crushing Souls. And it's a great concept in which you take your haters' hate and you use it as fuel, and you move forward doing what they told you could not do, therefore crushing their soul. Right? Which, like, oh, dude, I love it. Hashtag crushing souls, from now on. Right?
Oh, no.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to do that in 2019. We're going to crush 2019 by crushing souls. Right?
That's kind of the same, it's ironic that you say that, because that's kind of the same fuel that I use oftentimes, especially getting started in this industry where you come across other realtors and lenders who are operating on yesteryear's mentality and saying, no, you can't do this, you can't do that. It's like, being steadfast and being determined and going for it. That is the key to success, and not listening to the naysayers and the wannabes.
Yes, exactly. So, all right, brother. Well, get after it, man. Thanks for.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time, and I'll chat at you again next month.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a great week. Semper Fi.